dive into the magical world of fairy tales as we explore one of Petre Ispirescu's most beloved stories. Born in the heart of Romania in the mid-19th century, Petre Ispirescu was not just a storyteller, but a preserver of culture. He spent his life collecting tales of magic and wonder from the everyday people of his homeland. From peasants tending their fields to gypsies spinning tales by firelight, Ispirescu gathered these stories, each a sparkling thread in the rich tapestry of Romanian folklore. His tales are not just simple stories, they are time capsules, preserving the hopes, fears, and dreams of a people. Among these, one stands out as a testament to mankind's eternal quest for immortality, youth without old age and life without death. A tale of love, sacrifice, and the human yearning for eternal youth. So let us now unravel the enchanting tale of youth without old age and life without death. At the heart of our tale is a prince, born from the desperate wish of a childless king and queen. Their longing for an heir was so profound that they promised to grant their child any wish, no matter how grand or unusual. And so, under a starlit sky, the queen gave birth to a son, a prince whose destiny was to be like no other. As the prince grew, his vibrant energy and thirst for knowledge were unmatched. His curiosity about life was insatiable, and his courage was as vast as the kingdom he was destined to rule. Yet there was one question that lingered in his mind, a question that no one in the kingdom could answer: the mystery of life and death. One day the prince made a wish that echoed the depths of his curiosity. He wished for youth without old age and life without death. The king, bound by the promise made under that starlit sky years ago, was taken aback. How could he grant such a wish? The laws of nature were not his to command. Yet the king loved his son dearly and was determined to fulfill his wish. He consulted wise men and scholars, traveled to distant lands, and sought the counsel of the oldest and wisest creatures. The journey was long and arduous, but the king's love for his son fueled his determination. After many moons and countless sunrises, the king returned to his kingdom, his eyes filled with wisdom and his heart with hope. He had discovered a path that could lead his son to the life he desired. The path was fraught with challenges and perils, but it was a path nonetheless. The king presented his findings to the prince, who, with a heart full of courage and a spirit full of adventure, was ready to embark on his quest. And thus, the prince embarks on a quest, a journey that will take him to the ends of the earth. With a heart full of hope, the prince sets off on a journey fraught with challenges. He ventures into the unknown, guided only by an insatiable desire for the impossible, youth without old age and life without death. His path is strewn with obstacles, but the prince is undeterred. His first encounter is with a wise, ancient hermit living in solitude. The hermit, though old and frail, is a wellspring of wisdom. He advises the prince to seek the 3 magical apples hidden in the land beyond the 7 mountains and the 7 seas. These apples, the hermit explains, hold the power to overcome the relentless march of time. Emboldened by the hermit's words, the prince embarks on the next leg of his journey. He braves stormy seas and treacherous mountains, his determination never wavering. His perseverance is rewarded when he finally finds the 3 magical apples, each shimmering with a promise of eternal youth. But the journey is far from over. The prince must now traverse through the cycle of the seasons. He experiences the blossoming of spring, the warmth of summer, the abundance of autumn, and the harshness of winter. Each season is a test, a rite of passage that he must endure to reach his ultimate destination. Finally, after what seems like an eternity, the prince arrives at the land of eternal youth. It's a place untouched by time, where the sun always shines, and the flowers are forever in bloom. Here, age is just a number and life is an endless celebration. But as the prince soon discovers, the land of eternal youth harbors secrets of its own. He finds himself in a world far removed from the reality he once knew, a world where time stands still and mortality is but a distant memory. The prince, now in the land of eternal youth, finds more than he bargained for. His quest for eternal youth has brought him face to face with the paradox of immortality,
But that's a story for another time. For now, the prince must navigate his new reality, forever young and forever alive.
In this land where time stands still, the prince finds a life filled with love and happiness. Imagine, if you will, a realm untouched by the relentless march of hours and days. This is the land of eternal youth. Here the prince, our hero, finds himself in the midst of a life beyond his wildest dreams. In this land where the sun always shines and flowers never wilt, the prince finds his heart entwined with that of the fairy princess. Her eyes sparkle like the stars that never fade in this eternal day, and her laughter is as melodious as the song of the ever-blooming flowers. They marry amidst a celebration that knows no end, for in this land the joyous dance of love is everlasting. Their life together is a symphony of contentment. They rule their realm with kindness and wisdom, beloved by all who dwell there. Every day brings new delights. A song never heard before, a flower never seen, a story never told. Their hearts grow fonder with every unending moment, their bond stronger with every beat of their unaging hearts. Yet amidst this ceaseless joy, the prince finds himself entranced by the stories of his past. He shares tales of his quest, of the world he left behind, and of the parents who await his return. His words weave a tapestry of a time that moves, of a life that changes. And in the hearts of the prince and his fairy bride, a seed of curiosity is planted. The land of eternal youth, while a haven of happiness, is a bubble of unchanging bliss. The prince and princess in their hearts begin to yearn for the shifting tides of time, for the sweet joy of growth, of change. But even in paradise, one's past can cast a long shadow. A longing for home takes hold of the prince, leading him back to his forgotten kingdom. The prince, despite his eternal youth and the paradise he found, cannot shake the profound yearning for the land he once called home. A land filled with childhood memories, the echoes of laughter, and the comforting familiarity of his people. So he bids a heart-wrenching goodbye to his life of everlasting youth and embarks on the journey back to his forgotten realm. As the prince steps back onto his homeland, the sights that meet his eyes are far from the vibrant kingdom he left behind. Time, in its unrelenting march, has left deep footprints on the land. The castle that once stood tall and proud now lies in ruins, echoing the silent tales of a time long past. The streets that once bustled with joyous activity are now deserted, and the air that was once filled with laughter and cheer now holds a heavy silence. The prince, once a symbol of hope and strength, is met with a kingdom that no longer recognizes him. His heart aches as he walks through the ghost of his past, the stark reality of time's passage hitting him harder than he ever could have imagined. But there is a certain wisdom in his sorrow, a bittersweet understanding of the transient nature of existence. The prince's return, though fraught with devastation and heartache, is not without its lessons. The reality of his kingdom's ruin is a poignant reminder of the passage of time, the fleeting nature of life, and the inevitability of change. It's a lesson on the price of eternal youth, the cost of a life without end. Yet, even in the face of this harsh reality, the prince finds solace. He has loved, he has adventured, and he has lived a life most can only dream of. His journey, though ending in melancholy, has been one of discovery, love, and understanding. In his quest for eternal life and youth, the prince found love, adventure, and the bittersweet truth of existence. Our journey through youth without old age and life without death unveils life's profound truths. We've traced the tale's roots back to the enchanting storytelling of Petre Ispirescu, delving into a world where the impossible becomes possible. We've followed the birth and journey of our hero, the prince, on his relentless quest for eternal youth and life. His journey, filled with trials and triumphs, led him to a land where time stood still, where he relished in perpetual youth and endless days. But as we've learned, even in a world without age or death, the call of home is irresistible. The prince's return to his birthplace signaled not an end, but a new beginning. His story, like all fairy tales, holds a mirror to our own lives, showing us that even amidst our quests for the extraordinary, the ordinary can hold just as much magic. In the end, fairy tales like these remind us that life, with all its ups and downs, is a journey to be cherished.